So this is a guide to Singapore office spaces part 2. So I've already covered some of the aspects in part 1. So part 1 talks primarily about normal offices like co-working spaces, service offices, business park offices and so on. Whereas in this part 2 I'm talking of some specific types of space options like factory, retail and food court. I will also touch upon some common terms and where to search for more information. So let's begin. And the first thing that we are going to see is a factory building, which is of type B1. So factory premises or factory units come in two types. They can be either B1 or B2. So B1 is considered to be a light industrial. What that means is these units can be used for warehousing, that is storage of goods, light processing, in the sense you can do some kind of work there, you can have some machinery there, but the machinery cannot make significant noise nor it can use significantly high voltage electricity. So if you're using it for some small processing like repackaging of goods or making some small modification, then that's okay, but it cannot involve major manufacturing in B1 unit. And here I am showing you a photograph and you can see that the unit has a huge opening, in the sense there is a shutter and a car or the truck can come directly up to the unit. So this is for the convenience of storage and transportation of goods. So your truck can come up to the unit, you can load the goods into the truck and then truck can leave. So majority of this factory building, they will have the layout of this type and you can take the car or truck directly up to your unit. Key points to note about factory buildings is that it is quite cheap. Direct access to the unit is possible, but the important point to note here, it is only for light industrial purpose. So the financial aspect related to the B1 light industrial are as follows. The location of these units is actually throughout Singapore, primarily in Jurong, Ubi, Bedok and Woodlands. Typical unit size will start at a bigger level, in the sense normally units come in 3000 square foot and plus kind of thing, because these units are meant to be for storage, warehousing and other activities. So normally smaller units will not be available. Typical rent of these units will be from 1.5 Singapore dollars to 3 Singapore dollars per month. Deposit will be for 2 to 3 months of rental as deposit. Normally these units will not be near to MRT because these are more of an industrial units and are expected to be available for lower cost. And the things to watch out for are usage allowed is B1 only. So if you need to carry out specific activities before renting, you should check with the management and also check electricity supply parameters if you plan to operate any machines or many machines simultaneously. Now, one key point to note here that if you are a new company or just starting out, you don't really need to rent entire unit. There are many service providers who can actually offer you a small place in their warehouse and also some small processing capabilities. For example, you may need only one or two racks because you may not be importing too many products or the size might be quite low, and you might only need some repackaging or relabeling services for which there are many service providers, so you don't need to spend all this money for that activity alone. Now after B1 comes the second type of factory unit, that is B2. So B2 is for heavy industrial usage and all activities of a factory are allowed except few which are related to pollution and emissions. So again, these units tend to be quite cheap and can be used as B1 as well as for B2. Direct access will be possible to your unit, and normally high tension electricity is also available at these units because you may need to operate many machines for these activities. So the financial aspects related to B2 factory are as follows. Locations are normally in Tuas, Jurong, Ubi, Bedok and Woodlands. Again, typical unit size will be 3000 square foot and plus. Rental will be even lower than compared to B1. It will be from 1 Singapore dollar to 3 Singapore dollars per square foot depending upon the location. Typical deposit will be 2 to 3 months of rental as deposit. and most of these units will not be near to MRT. Now there is one more option in this factory segment which some companies prefer, especially the large corporates, is renting an entire factory building. So it is possible for you to rent an entire factory building and carry out the operations as may be necessary. For example, there are cases where large e-com operators who are nowadays running some cloud-based operations like Lazada, Amazon, they have rented this kind of factory building for their warehouses. And in some cases, some companies like Google have even rented this kind of places or bought this kind of places, and they have built their data center. So this is another option for very large corporates to explore in Singapore. And coming to the financial aspects, entire factory building locations are mainly in Tuas. Typical factory size will be 20,000 square foot and plus because you are talking of the entire building. Typical rent will be 1 Singapore dollar per square foot per month. Typical deposit will be 2 to 3 months rental as a deposit, and these factories will not normally near to MRT. So what I will do now, I will show you one website where you can search for all these kind of units, and then I'll come back to the presentation. So here I am on Commercial Guru website. So you can search for Commercial Guru, and what I'm going to search is for purchase a factory. Okay, so I'm unselect all and factory, and I'm going to write Tuas, and let's search. So it is giving me the options which are available for complete purchase, the factory units. So as you can see that at Gul Street, there is this entire factory building available for 15 million Singapore dollars, and the area is 98,864 with 12 minutes walk to Gul Circle MRT. Similarly, here is another one, 41,000 square foot, 7.8 million. Obviously, you can search for rental options also, and you can use this Commercial Guru tool, Commercial Guru portal for search of any commercial properties in Singapore. So now coming back to the presentation, now the next topic is retail spaces. So there are different types of retail spaces available in Singapore. For example, here I am showing one photograph from a shopping mall, and as you can see, most of these units, retail units, are quite nice and look very ultra modern. And here is one photograph which is of shops in a HDB block, and as you can see, their exterior is not as fancy. So the retail option in Singapore varies significantly from remote HDB blocks to very upmarket shopping malls. The range, size and everything will change. So let's have a look on the commercial aspect. The location of these retail spaces is throughout Singapore, depends upon where you are looking at. Definitely each HDB block will have few units for retail, and obviously then it will go up to shopping malls also. Typical unit sizes will be from 500 square feet to up to 10,000 square foot. Typical rent will start from 5 Singapore dollars for HDB unit to up to 50 Singapore dollars or even more for premium malls per square foot per month. So if you're looking for unit in Orchard Road in some mall, then you will be paying at a higher end. Typical deposit will be 2 to 6 months rental as deposit, and it follows the same rule of share capital. If the share capital is 100,000 Singapore dollars or more, 3 months deposit might be taken, especially if renting a unit in a mall. For HDB, it should be more or less 2 months rental. Nearness to MRT depends. So some places can be near, some places can be far off. Actually, the rental will depend primarily on nearness to MRT and the volume of human traffic. And things to watch out for are maybe some of the units are approved only for specific purposes. There are two more points that if you plan to start a retail shop in Singapore, then you need to consider all these aspects carefully. So this point I am referring more from the viewpoint of foreigner. Foreigners sometimes write to us saying that they want to start some shop in Singapore. So these cost factors you will have to consider. Often employment pass will not get approved for retail businesses unless your retail business is of a very high size, in the sense you're bringing in some luxury good chain or something new, then it's okay. But if you are selling only goods which are of daily use, I don't think employment pass will get approved. So you will be in most of the cases relying on local manager most of the times in that case. So the next then topic is food courts, hawker centers, coffee shops and restaurants. So mainly to do with food. So here is first photograph of a hawker center, and I guess this might be from somewhere near HDB estate. So as you can see, there are many small units, and I guess the unit size will be less than 100 square feet. And there are tables, so you can just go there, buy the food, and eat at table and eat it. Here is another photo which is more upmarket. I think this is from one of the shopping malls. So this unit is inside a shopping mall, and then small units are allocated to different companies for serving food. And the last one is of a coffee shop, which is in a mall. And next to the coffee shop, you can actually see here on this side a Japanese kind of restaurant. So you have many options here. You can have a food court or hawker center in a ADB block to a complete restaurant in a shopping mall. It depends upon what exactly you plan to do. Now, in this case, keep it in mind that food courts and hawker centers in HDB blocks are primarily for Singaporeans and PR to run. So, foreigners are not allowed to operate those, nor foreigners can be employed in those units. There are some exceptions, but generally, this is a rule. In most of the shopping malls, companies can rent, but the investment can be definitely very high. So let's have a look at the financial aspects of food courts, hawker centers, coffee shop and restaurants. Location obviously will be throughout Singapore. So in HDB blocks, shopping malls, everywhere these units are there. Typical unit size will range from 100 square foot to up to 3000 square foot. So 100 square foot we are referring to a small hawker center unit, whereas 3000 square foot can be a full size restaurant in a shopping mall. Typical rent will be from 15 Singapore dollars to up to 50 Singapore dollars per square foot per month. So if you are planning to open up a restaurant in a shopping mall, and if you are planning to rent a unit of 3000 square feet, then you are looking at a rental of at least $150,000 per month. In some cases, the rental arrangement is dependent upon the monthly sales of that unit. Especially in a hawker center or food courts, the rule is that 25% of monthly sales or specific fixed amount, whichever is higher, is charged as rent. So there is a practice in this food court or hawker centers that the sales register or the cash is managed by another company. So you will have to buy all the products, cook everything, sell it for the month, but you will not get a single dollar back in that month. That cash will be collected by somebody else, some other company, and after the month is over, they will deduct this 25% rental and will give you 75% money back. Nearness to MRT depends, because there are so many options, so it will depend whether it is near or not. And things to watch out for here is some units are allowed only for local Singaporeans or permanent residents. So now, having gone through these few specialized unit types, I will explain you some standard terms, because you will come across these terms when you are renting a unit. So the first point is about rental and service charges. So in Singapore, when you rent a unit, your total cost is a sum total of both these. Most of the cases, the landlord will quote you two amounts. One is a rental charge, which is purely a rental for the unit, and one is a service charge, which is to be paid for the purpose of maintenance, aircon, maintenance of toilets, cleaning, and so on. So normally these two figures are quoted separately in Singapore and not as a one consolidated amount. Option to renew. Most of the tenancy agreement will provide you to option to renew the contract at the end of year 2 or year 3, your current term. And you can in most of the cases renew it at same price, or with some kind of caveat that it can be raised by 10% or something like that. The next point is fitting out period. So in many cases, commercial landlords will give you some fitting out period. What that means is you will be given a term which is rent free and which is given for you to move in and settle in the unit. Because when you take the unit, you may need to do some renovation, which might take a month's time. You might need to bring in some machinery that might take some time. So in that circumstances, the practice is 10 days to 2 month period is given before you move in, and it entirely depends upon how you negotiate and what your specific case is. Security deposit, I think we have discussed this in every option of office spaces. So you will have to keep this money with the landlord, and it can range from 1 month to 6 months rent as the case may be. There is additional renovation deposit which you may need to pay temporarily in case you plan to do renovation. So if you plan to do some renovation in your unit, or if you plan to bring in some machinery or anything from outside which is likely to damage the building or which is likely to have any impact, in that case you will have to pay a deposit to Management Council. MCST stands for Management Council of Strata Title. That means the management company of that unit. You will have to pay renovation deposit, and only when your work is over that deposit will be returned to you. Normally the deposit needs to be kept for a month or two. The next important point is reinstatement. So many tenancy agreement will say that you will have to reinstate the premises to original condition when you leave the unit. What that means is you might have taken the possession of unit and then you might have done renovation. If after 2 or 3 years you decide not to renew the contract, and if you want to leave that place, then you will have to hand it back to the owner or the landlord in the original condition. That means you will have to remove all the renovation and bring the unit back to bare condition. The next term is MCST. So MCST stands for Management Council of Strata Title. It is basically the company that manages that specific property. So if you are renting a unit in some building, the MCST is actually managing all aspects of that building. And the last point is rental duration. So rental duration normally in Singapore is 2 to 3 years, depending upon what you want to choose, except for co-working and service offices where it will be lower. So this covers part 2 of specialized units. I hope you get a good overview of specialized places option for your business in Singapore.
Thank you for watching this video. This video was brought to you by Epica Consulting Singapore. Subscribe to our channel today to get notified when new videos are posted.